Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking right now, Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy announces charges against a 28-year-old man in the murder of local Jewish leader Samantha Wool. That announcement coming less than 15 minutes ago, wrapping up a 53-day investigation into her murder.
The accused in this case is Michael Manuel Jackson Bolanos. Let's get to Sean Lay, live at the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice with these new developments. Sean.
Just able to ask Prosecutor Worthy and Chief White some questions about this. Bolanos is 28 years old. We have his address. He's from Detroit. Here's how this whole thing breaks down. Number one, no relation at all to Samantha Wool. The two have never met until he allegedly broke into her unit here at Lafayette Place and startled her in some degree and assaulted her, which ended up being a deadly assault with a sharp object, logically a knife in this case. Here's how all this is fitting together. No hate crime whatsoever, according to investigators. There's been a lot of pressure on police to bring forward what they had on this case to put to bed any situation that would have been a hate crime because of Ms. Wool's position as a prominent Jewish leader in our community. Here's the deal. A couple of Detroit police officers, they were investigating theft from autos. You call them larcenies. Opening up car doors right in Samantha Wool's own neighborhood. They're taking things. Well, police catch up with him, maybe have some video of him doing this and then possibly getting close to Samantha Wool's unit. Bottom line here, he was charged with lying to officers about those car break-ins. That put him smack dab on the radar of investigators. Now, he asked Prosecutor Worthy to describe for us the exact situation here of Wool going in and this guy, Bolanos, allegedly going into Wool's place, how this all breaks down.
Again, this is that after being informed by Patrick Lane and or Stephen Ford of the Detroit Police Department that the officer was conducting a criminal investigation, that this defendant did knowingly and willfully make a statement or statements to the officers that he knew was false and misleading regarding the following material facts relating to the investigation, and here's what you want to know, that he committed larcenies and or attempted larcenies from motor vehicles on October the 21st of 2023.
Back here live. Fascinating how all this is linked together with a person allegedly going through cars, apparently after midnight when Samantha Wool got back from that wedding she was attending, and somehow getting in, we're told breaking in to her unit on Lafayette Place, and you can kind of envision the situation of he being surprised by Samantha Wool, and then why there was a fatal assault. That's still unclear. We'll have to learn more about that in court. Charges, guys, homicide, felony murder, larceny, that's the larceny from the cars. Home invasion, that's breaking into Samantha Wool's home, breaking and entering and assaulting Wool, resulting in her tragic death. Guys, no relationship to Samantha Wool at all, and that is the situation. We're going to continue to look into this and who Bolanos is, and very interesting police work here. Investigating theft from autos leading to a major break in a homicide, guys.
Right, exactly right. All right, much more to come.
We have so many questions remain. We appreciate that, Sean. And by the way, Detroit Police Chief James White also spoke at today's press conference about what they uncovered during the investigation. We'll have more on what he revealed at 6, and it's also on our homepage at clickondetroit.com.
All right, also tonight, a 21-year-old man is dead after a 4-vehicle pileup on the Lodge Freeway in Detroit.
Troopers responded this morning about 7:30 to the northbound lanes near Outer Drive. The rear-ended crash happened after the driver of a Chevy SUV failed to stop for traffic backed up due to an earlier crash in the area. The Chevy hit a Dodge Avenger. The Avenger was pushed into a Toyota, and the Toyota was pushed into a Ford. State police say the 21-year-old driver of the Avenger was not wearing his seatbelt properly and had it buckled behind his back. And this is video of the crash that had traffic backed up and caused the secondary crash that we just told you about. A car collided with a semi-truck about 3:30 this morning on the Lodge near 7 Mile. Police say the driver of a Saab took off on foot after hitting the semi. The fuel tank of that semi was damaged and about 200 gallons of diesel fuel spilled across the freeway. Nobody was injured in that crash. The suspect driver is still on the run. The freeway, though, has since reopened. A judge has decided not to consider alleged extramarital affairs as evidence against the mother of the Oxford school shooter.
James and Jennifer Crumbley are due back in court 1 week from today for a hearing regarding their upcoming trials. But a judge has ruled Jennifer Crumbley's alleged affairs will not be admissible as evidence against her, nor, as we reported yesterday, will her son's bird torturing hobby. The news comes just days after their son was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Crumbley's are the first parents in the United States ever charged in a mass school shooting. Two other Detroit parents are now charged for the death of their 5-year-old son.
Prosecutors say 25-year-old Halisa Brown and 33-year-old Sterling Minion were out of the room when their 5-year-old son found an unsecured gun and shot himself in the head. The two have been charged with involuntary manslaughter, child abuse, and felony firearms. Their bond has been set at $250,000 and are expected back in court next Thursday.
The U.S. House is expected to vote to formally authorize an impeachment inquiry into President Biden later today. With a very slim majority, the vote is expected to pass. It comes on the same day the president's son was supposed to testify, but that didn't happen.
For what purpose does the
House Republicans today moving forward with an impeachment inquiry into President Biden, with a vote aimed at formalizing an investigation centered on so far unproven allegations that the president used political influence to enrich his son, Hunter Biden.
President Biden must be held accountable.
GOP members have yet to offer proof tying President Biden to his son's business dealings.
This is more like a what is it, not a who done it. We don't know what the crime is.
House Republicans argue that a formal impeachment inquiry will strengthen their access to more documents and testimony.
You're going to see a clear message from the House today for the White House to cooperate with this investigation.
The vote comes the same day Hunter Biden defied a House subpoena for a closed-door deposition. He came to Capitol Hill offering again to testify publicly.
I'm here today to make sure that the House committee's illegitimate investigations of my family do not proceed on distortions, manipulated evidence, and lies.
House Republicans say they'll move to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress. The younger Biden has already been indicted on felony charges of failing to pay his taxes on time and separate gun possession charges. Today, he acknowledged being extremely irresponsible with his finances during the depths of his battle with addiction. He thanked his parents for saving his life and was adamant.
My father was not financially involved in my business.
Mr. President, should your son have defied the subpoena?
President Biden has firmly denied wrongdoing while standing by his son. The impeachment investigation, of course, comes as President Biden already faces an already tough 2024 re-election bid with lagging poll numbers and a number of crises around the world.
The Federal Reserve is keeping its key interest rate unchanged. It's a sign the Fed is likely done raising rates as inflation eases. The benchmark rate will stay at 5.4%. It's the highest level in 22 years, and it has led to higher costs for mortgages, auto loans, and other forms of credit. On today's Daily Plus, Wayne State economic professor Kevin Cotter told Christy McDonald rate cuts are likely coming next year.
The Fed doesn't want to declare victory too soon because they have to show the world that they are serious about fighting inflation, because the one thing that could bring inflation back is if people are expecting inflation. So the Fed has to be very clear that they're taking this seriously, but eventually they're going to cut rates. They might wait to see if the economy begins to soften, maybe if economic activity slows down or hiring slows down. That hasn't happened yet, but we'll probably see some fairly modest cuts next year. Maybe a percentage point seems to be the consensus right now.
Yeah, the Fed signaled it expects to make 3 quarter-point cuts to the benchmark interest rate next year, but that likely won't happen until the second half of the year.
Live pictures now from Little Caesars Arena. That's where the Pistons are going to try to do something they have not done now in 46 days.
Wow.
That's a long time, but that's how long it's been since they have won an NBA game. The team has lost 20 straight as they head into tonight's matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Ernie's here with us now to call this a rough start to the season, really putting it lightly, 21 losses, and we're not even to the All-Star break.
I think you're being very kind with its whatever you call
rough,
it.
Yes.
Yeah, rough. Well, no one is sure when this losing streak might end. If the Pistons lose to the Sixers tonight, they're going to tie the team record for consecutive losses with 21. And guess who they face on Friday when they could set a new record of 22? The Sixers in Philadelphia. We've got highlights. Pistons coming off a loss to the Pacers this past Monday night. Detroit played close for 3 quarters. They just can't get over the hump in the fourth. Monty Williams says 20 losses in a row is tough, but so are the Pistons and their play in that fourth quarter.
Hurts all of us, and it hurts like you can't believe. I think we're still learning that everything we do in the meat of the game has an effect on the end. and it puts a lot of stress on the end when you don't take care of the ball in the meat of the game. And that's on me to continue to teach the group.
You better teach fast, but they are second in the league in turnovers per game behind Utah, 29th. So there you go with that. Again, a loss tonight ties the Pistons franchise record of 21 in a row. Then to Philly on Friday night could be 22. And you want more good news? They play the Bucks Saturday night in Milwaukee. They are stacked up here.
Really tough.
Yeah, really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
We are winning when it comes to the weather, though, over the last couple of days. How's that for a segue?
Better do the Pistons story.
Yeah. Look at this, though. Live look from Metro Airport, our Skycam. Sunset just about, actually, officially at 4:59.
Yeah, gorgeous. That's actually the earliest sunset of the year. Tomorrow it happens at 5 o'clock. Let's get over to Kim Adams. Kim's, we might be short on daylight, but it's been great to see the sun today.
Oh, boy, it sure has. We've got a lot of sunshine ahead for the next several days as well, and we'll start to warm up. It's a little chilly, I guess, if you have to complain about the weather. Some people do. You can say that it is cooler than normal today in Howell. It's only 33, 34 in Pontiac, but we are sitting at 40 in Adrian and 35 downtown. Temperatures right now slightly below average for this time of year. It's almost freezing in Howell at 33 degrees. Tomorrow we warm back up again, though. Starts out cold at 26 degrees, but take a look at 4 o'clock, 44 with plenty of sunshine. And we're not done there. Take a look at this temperature trend as I step out of the way. 44 tomorrow, 51 on Friday, 45 Saturday, 47 Sunday. We stay above average, not just for the next 7 days, but it looks like we will stay above average for the next 8 to 14 days, and that does include Christmas. So it is time to start talking about our chances of a white Christmas. We'll do that coming up.